Hello everybody, my name is Paul from Cryonetic, continuing the Blender to Unreal character creation series. We'll be working on our chest piece a little bit more, and what we'll be doing is working on the neck piece over here and then on the lower torso. So let's get started. Okay, going to do very minimal work on the top part of the chest here. Let me just enable screencast keys. There we go. So all that I'm going to do is I'm going to hold Alt and right click to select this loop over here, E to extrude and then scale it in, and then E to extrude again, and then I'm just going to move it down. The reason for that is your character's neck is going to come into this area over here, so it won't really be necessary to cover any of that up. So that is pretty much done. Maybe just move it a little bit lower for that piece over there. I just want to get a little bit more of a line in between here, so I'm just going to add another loop here by hitting Control R, clicking, and then scaling in. Okay, you can see a bit more of a loop. I just want to smooth that out, so I'm going to add another 3 loop cuts in there. So there we go. As you can see, it smoothed it out. That looks okay. So let's get started on the bottom piece. Okay, for the bottom piece over here, I'm going to just select one of these loops here. Not one of the inside loops, because we might want to change a little bit on it later on. And then instead of extruding, I'm going to hit Shift D. And then I want to actually separate it by selection. But you can see that we created a new plane. So first I'm just going to name this armor plate. And then let's make this armor lower. Okay, the reason why I'm keeping it separate is because the vertices and everything might get mixed up, and when we use remove doubles, it would remove some of the things that I actually consider important. So I would rather just do it separate, and then if I like it, bring it back into the model. Okay, so I'm going to hit the numpad / key, and then we'll go back into the full view to see all of our other models that we worked on before, or going out of local view. And then you can see all the way to where the torso section ends. So I'm just going to hit E to extrude, to move down. Okay, we still have these enabled, so I'm just going to disable that. And I'm going to try again, E to extrude. That's a little bit better. But one thing that you will notice, let me just hide this quickly, is that Blender still, I do not know how it calculates its normals. So it calculated wrong. So just select everything if it did the same with you, and just click normals and recalculate outside, and you see it will start looking a little bit better. While we're at it, we'll add smooth shading. Okay, and I'm just going to unhide that again. Now this is a little bit uneven, so I'm just going to move this just ever so slightly. I don't want to get it like all the way flat in one line. Need to extrude again. Okay. And then one last time, E to extrude. This I'm going to move down. And now it's a bit more of fitting everything to where the pants area is. Doesn't have to be 100%, but I think that still looks pretty good. Okay, now what we can do, now we can enable our snapping and project individual elements onto other objects. So now we can start selecting these. Just to get them to kind of match the shape of the body. Also just gives you a bit more of a chance to just do a little bit of cleanup work. Okay, there we go. I'm just going to hit the slash key to go into local view again, and that actually looks pretty good for your lower half chest piece. Obviously we still need to add some details if we actually want these details. It really does depend. As you can see, they do come in together. We can scale this one, just disable this in a little bit, and then you can actually see a little bit more of the armor, so that would look a little bit better. But okay, that looks pretty good. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is, this chest piece looks a little bit weird, just because of the if you go look at this, this armor did stand out a little bit. As I said, the sculpt that we did for this was originally just used as a reference, so don't read too much into it. Just hide that again. Hide that as well. Okay, so what I basically want to show you is just a quick method on how to create this type of armor piece separate from your main model, because this piece is now together with this model here at the top, that if I at any point just want to duplicate this, I would have to go in and select all of these individually and then separate them off, and that could just be a tedious process. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use like a piece here from the armor. I'm just going to disable clipping mode and the mirror modifier, and then Shift D, go into the side view and just move it off. The reason why I'm like copying it directly off is because I want to get it kind of roughly at the same angle as what the piece is over there, the chest piece over there. So I can actually leave clipping enabled, because we're going to do, just scale this down, and then I'm going to hit E to extrude, and there you go. See Blender inverted normals again. Just select all of those, hit Control N, recalculate the outside. There we go. So hit W and then subdivide, and I think we're going to do that twice. Once was enough. And then we could just move some of these around a little bit. So basically this would just be until you can get the shape that you want. I'm not going to change it too much because this is just like to give you a rough idea of what you can do to do a piece like that separately. So I'm going to go into the edge select mode. Just going to select the outside edges, and then you can hit Control B. That is your bevel function. Move your mouse, you'll slowly start seeing the bevel coming out. Made like a little smooth area over there. And then Control R, and we're going to add a couple of loop cuts. And there we go. It made like our smooth area like it did with this model piece up there at the top. And then we can like just kind of like start moving it in. This way it also can like give you an idea that this is like a armor shard, like a separate piece of armor that your character just attached to his current armor, just to give him a little bit more I would say a little bit more bulletproof durability. But there we go. Just maybe move that in. It just kind of goes along with the model. And then you can just repeat this process further on so that we can get close to matching something along the lines of that. And maybe another piece over here. I didn't particularly like this anymore after I sculpted it, because I thought that the armor might be a bit too constricting. So it all depends on what you want to do. I'm at the moment pretty happy with that. So basically all that you're going to do is just repeat this process, find out what you like, and you can start covering your model. Maybe cover the back piece over here. If you don't want to cover the back piece, then stay tuned for the next tutorial, because we're going to be covering something like a bit more on the lines of cloth. So I'll be using this piece over here as clothing, or I'll be sculpting clothing. So if you guys like what you saw, leave a like. Please subscribe to my channel. I will be uploading more videos. I thank you all very much for watching, and then I'll see you all in the next video. Thank you once again. Bye bye.